I've been doing this a long. I've been doing this like longer than some of you. I've been doing this since 1977. I first got up and did comedy in Washington D.C. There were no comedy clubs. I was going to law school, and a buddy of mine said, "You're funny, man. You should go do comedy." He dragged me down to this coffee house. It was a coffee house in a basement of a church, and it was called the Iguana Coffee House. And there were a bunch of hippies there hoping to outlast disco. And and I had like a little thing I worked up to do like comedy, you know, and it's hilarious because the guy that introduced me was this like long hair, like a hippie FM DJ kind of guy. Like I followed a poet. I got the tape still, and the poet, his last line was, "Like the mango, we are ripe for the revolution." That was my opener. That's what I followed. And the guy introduced me. The guy who was running the show, whatever it was, introduced me. Goes, "This next guy is going to try something funny." Like I'm going to try to pull something on him. Be careful, man. Hold your wallets. He's going to try something funny. I get up there. My first heckle, I started talking. My first heckle was two guys were playing chess down front, and they went, "Shh." That was my first heckle. I did like 5 minutes. I got one reaction. For the whole 5 minutes, I got one reaction. One guy went, "Huh," like that. That's all I got. Not a full-on laugh, just went, "Huh," like he was going to start laughing, no one followed him, and he quit. That's what happened. But I went back to my room and I played the tape over, like, you know, like I just looking for a clue, like why'd he laugh? Like I was like the Zapruder film. I'm like, what happened here? I saw the head snap back and I don't know what happened, but somebody laughed. But my first joke, that was like the first joke I ever wrote that got a reaction was, I said in sports you can always tell who's going to win just by the introductions. Like in professional wrestling, you can always tell by the introductions. They'll go, in this match from Hackensack, New Jersey, 185 pounds, Ed Arnall. His opponent, from parts unknown, 795 pounds, Haystack Calhoun. It's the same way with high school sports. In the 130-pound weight class from Oakcrest Regional High School, two-time New Jersey State champion, two-time Christmas tournament champion, undefeated senior Bob Siraki. His opponent from Pennsville High School, former student council treasurer. And that was the first joke I ever wrote that got a laugh. And I was like, and I was doing it, and there was no place to do comedy. I was like making my own places up. I was just going in like coffee houses, and friends of mine had a band, and I was going into band breaks, and my buddy who got me he was like my first agent, but he was just not really agent. He says, I got a place we could go perform. It's down in Southeast Washington. It's called the Gay Cabaret. And we were like so unhip. We had no idea. We just thought like 1890s, you know, like gay cabaret. Like, oh, they're like hey, hello. We had no idea it was a gay place. It was like, you know, homosexual gay cabaret. And then we get down there, and the guy who's there sees us. He goes, look, I got to warn you guys, that's talent night, but it's ladies' night. And we both, again, we're so idiots. We're like going, ladies' night? This is fantastic. We love ladies. So we go in, and of course, it's all lesbians. And this is back before, like, they weren't out. This was not like Ellen, everybody out. It was secret, you know. It was like 1977. People were still hiding. And I go, they introduced me, and I walk up, and it was like, you know, you're on stage sometimes, a comic, you know, maybe you don't know this, but sometimes a joke doesn't work, you feel a little chilly. This was getting sub-zero, like, they're just glaring at me, and I just have a little act to do. I just, like, go from A to B, you know, it's like, and then my dad, and I'm just doing this, and they're just staring at me, and at some point I realized it was really bad, and I blurted out, I said, well, I guess I'm your worst nightmare. And they laughed, and I was so stupid, and early in I didn't know that was the biggest laugh I was going to get. But I looked at it as encouragement, like, go on, do some more, joke boy. So I start talking again, and a woman sitting right up front just stands up, walks on the stage, grabs my arm, and leads me off. Didn't say a word. It was like a mercy killing. She might as well come up with a 22 and put it back on my head. It's better this way, you know. Yeah, just he didn't even say get off the stage. He just said, let's just take him off. It's better, you know. There's no sense talking to him. He obviously doesn't understand what's happening here. Just the hook. It was like a vaudeville hook, you know. My first paying job was, there was a bar that I hung out to that had played live music. It was called Childe Harold, and the bar owner, the guy owner, I would sit there and say, he goes, I hear you doing comedy. I go, yeah, I go around these places, I do comedy. He goes, I got a band coming down from New York. You want to open for them? I have to provide an opening act by the record company's contract, and I'll give you $50 to open for them. I said, sure, I'll do it, man. It's my first paying job. It was my first time that anybody paid me. I said, I'll do it. He says, good. Be here next week, such and such a time. I show up. It was Ramones from New York. There was a punk band. Yeah, okay, you know who they are. All right, cool. No, I didn't know anything about punk, you know. I mean, really, I'd show up and there was like mohawks and there's people with like safety pins in their cheek, literally, you know. I didn't know they existed, and they were all over the Washington, D.C. area, all these punk show up, and the place was packed and it was vibrant energy. And I'm standing back with the club owner, and he's laughing. He goes, "They're gonna kill you, man. You aren't gonna last 5 minutes in front of this crowd." I said, I'm gonna do my time, whatever I was supposed to do, 10, 50 minutes. I go, I'm getting my $50, man. I'm gonna do it, you know, because to me it was like an athletic event. It was like a rodeo. I'm on the horse for 8 seconds, man. When the buzzer hits, I'm getting my $50, but I'm on the horse, man. You know? And he goes, I'll tell you what, man, I am so sure that you're not gonna last 5 minutes that I will pay you double nothing. I'll give you $100 if you last the time, right? And nothing. You get nothing if you don't. And I go, I take the bet. So they introduced me. I don't know what they said for the introduction. All the audience heard was, "Ladies and gentlemen, not the Ramones." Please welcome, not the Ramones. Because they start booing, and I walked up, and it was one of those boos, like, they was so thick, I had to cut through, I had to, like, work my way through and it's just a little, it was like this room, it was just a little short stage, and there's, you know, the band's amps, drum kit were up there and all, and I'm standing up the front, trying to do and they're just yelling, and they're like, yeah, fuck you, and I'm like, anyway, so my dad said, you know, I'm just doing my little act. I only had a little act, an A to B to C to D, you know, just move from point to point. So at one point, they realized I wasn't leaving, and one guy sitting right up front just took his beer mug, you know, the beer, and he went like this, and he hit me with beer, right? But me, it's like, I just had to stay there. So it was like, I was just acted like I was on the front of a boat and got hit with some ocean spray. Anyway, so then my mom, and I go to the next bit, you know. And they realized I wasn't left, so the next guy, like another guy, just hits me with another beer. And I get hit again, I'm like a dog shaking off. Anyway, so, you know, because I'm just on the horse, man. Until the bell rings, I'm staying there. You know, there's no way. And then realized I would leave, and then they just started throwing beers. They actually started, like, they were organized. They got a line going. They would come to the front. The guy would throw a beer at me, and they'd walk off, and they'd cheer. It was like, you know, it was a beer throwing and a cheer. Beer throwing and a cheer. And in the meantime, I'm just talking. Said, I grew up in a little small town. And finally, the club owner realized that the stage is getting soaked with beer, because I was just head to toe soaked. And he realized this is not good. Electrical equipment, liquid, and all that, you know. And he's like, come on, you win. He's holding the money up. Come on, you win. So I was like, all right, good night. And they're like, fuck you. And I walk off. And I walk to the back of the room, and I am soaked head to toe, right? And we go into the kitchen, and the Ramones are standing there waiting to go on, because that was the dressing room, it was just the kitchen, you know? And they're standing there with their guitars and all, and they see me come in, and I don't know which one it was. One of the Ramones looks at me and goes, cool act, man. Like, that's what I was the human beer sponge, you know? That's what I do. I'm like a circus geek. I go, they throw beer, I get money, I go home. You know?